Hi. So I thought this vlog would be one with my hair down, but it is not. So I washed my hair on Monday, but I didn't. Today's Thursday already, so like my head is not that good anymore. Although like this dry weather, usually my hair lasts looking nice for a while. Yeah, we got right into it, right into the subject of hair. So where do I start? Let me think. I recorded some videos of my week, so there's going to be like a little voiceover and a little bit about how progress is not linear, right? Maybe you've seen that, like, I've seen that on Pinterest, on those, like, inspiring messages. Life's not linear, so sometimes we see these things, but we don't really live them. We don't really understand what they mean in real life. But thinking about it, I wrote down that daily life is not linear, so usually when we see this idea of progress, not perfection, it's never with real examples of what that looks like. Oh, I did my nails, by the way. It's been a while. I think like maybe some months, maybe almost a year that I didn't do my nails. Yeah, so thinking about an actual example of what it means progress, not perfection, and that progress is not linear. I've been thinking about that a lot, that is the general theme of this past 2 weeks. I didn't post last week because, I mean, you know, progress is not linear. But this past weekend is the weekend when I work. I work on Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes every few months. And this time I didn't have to work on Saturday, but I worked on Sunday. And I always kind of dread these days because even though it's not super like difficult, and now I do it from home, but I mean, working on Sundays, like, it's against nature, right? It's against God's law. And I always get super tired in advance. So last Thursday, I think I was in this mood, like, oh, I have to work on Sunday, so, you know. But I did record some videos of the things I did this past days, this past week. So I think we're going to have a little bit more variety, and I'm excited. I think that's a good thing. So, okay. So thinking about progress not being linear, that has been a thing that is helping me to take life less in like black and white and more respecting the nuances and how not every day is going to be the same, how we go through different phases, and not thinking in this absolute terms, like I didn't do all these things that someone on the internet does, or the infinite list that is always going to exist. One fact about adult life: your to-do list never ends. Your to-do list is just an ongoing thing, and you're never going to like do everything that is on your list. That is impossible, because once you finish like washing the dishes, for instance, you know you're going to eat something, you're going to cook, and you're going to have dishes again, and you do laundry, but you're wearing clothes that are going to have to be washed again, and you know work, there's always more work. When you finish your list is going to be full again the next day. And it's so unfair to ourselves to expect that we have to be super productive all the time, every day. So the last vlog I said about how I uninstalled the games from my phone, and I've been thinking a lot about screen time, and it's still like an ongoing thing. So now every time that I get my phone and I start scrolling, I think, okay, but how long have I been on the phone yesterday or today? And then I look on the digital well-being app, and I've been like for like 2 hours, or the previous day I was for 4 hours on my phone doing whatever. And I keep thinking, like, it's 4 hours, like what could I have done on these 4 hours? And not even only in terms of productive things like cleaning a part of the house, or I don't know, doing dishes, or working on content, or reading. But even like in terms of rest, I feel like so many times I lie down to take a nap and I don't and I have a limited time, and I don't take the nap because I am using my phone. So that has been helpful. And another factor, of course, is the fact that I am a woman. So we have fluctuating moods as the month goes by. Right now I am in the part of the month when I am productive and I feel like I can take on the world, and that is good because then I can do things in advance for when I get again to the slump, to the difficult part of the month. And yeah, we have to look at little successes. This is very related to lowering the bar, right? We should be, lowering the bar a little bit, and instead of remembering at the end of each day, like your brain is automatically going to make the list of all the things you should have done and you didn't do, but you should then consciously make this list of, but what was good today? What did I do that was good? I did everything that was on my list of work. I washed the dishes. I made a crochet little circle. I've been doing like one a day of this. I want to try squares, but I have a little video talking about that, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it. And yeah, I cleaned my bathroom. I cleaned my bathroom on Monday, which was great. And then on Tuesday I went to the supermarket, and oh my god, I'm going to talk about Tuesday because like I went to the supermarket and I did my like monthly, grocery shopping, and then I went to the gas station for my car. How do you say that? To fuel my car? How do you say that? I don't know. Let me see. To fuel the car? Is that like a current thing that people say? Fuel the car? I always like look at fuel up. Okay. To fuel up the car. Okay. We are going to do another tangent here. whenever I don't know how to say something in English, I go first to like Google Translate. It's fine to use Google Translate, you know. But whatever translation they give me, I always put them on Google to see if that like the results that come up. So here, the first entry is with the expressions fill up, think up, fuel or fuel up. Um, you know, and there's a lot of like there's a Quora, you know, Quora, that website where people ask questions, asking about how would you say it and how the gasoline cars work, and videos like how to fill up a car with fuel, how to correctly fuel your car. So take a look to see if that expression shows up in you know, contexts that where it is possibly going to be used. So Google is going to return results that show that being used in the context. So like here, a lot of insurance, fuel, government websites. So you know, so fuel the car. Okay. So I went to fill the car, to fill up, and I also asked them to clean up my car, to wash the car, because it was filthy. It was disgusting. It was so dirty, and I mean there was like bird poop on it. I mean, I was feeling sorry for my car. And then I asked them to wash it, and I was so happy because I had a clean car and my tank was full. So I decided to go to McDonald's on the drive-thru to get something. And as I was going to McDonald's, I stopped on a red light and a bird pooped on the car. I was so mad on the I forgot the word. How do you say para-brisa? Okay. Today I'm learning new words in English. That is good. Para-brisa. Windshield. I knew that word. So a bird pooped on the windshield, and I was like, really? I just like it was still like kind of wet because I had just left the gas station, and I was so mad. And then I got home and I had, you know, all of the groceries. I had my little McDonald's meal, and I made this mistake that we all do. Like, I can't do everything in just, you know, I can do it all once. I can go up with everything and I won't have to come again downstairs to get the rest. And that was, you know, that was a error in judgment, because I got everything. I put my sandwich, my fries inside of a bag, so everything was like on my shoulders. And I bought a new trash can, so I got the trash can, and then I went to get the soda, and the soda fell, and it was all over the car seat. And I had all of this heavy stuff on my shoulders. I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to deal with that right now. And I just left there. I locked the car and I went back upstairs. But then I came downstairs again. I went and bought a Coke for me at the bakery. And then since I was already outside, I went and I bought my medicine and, you know, my brain medicine. And then I went back home and I didn't go back to the car. So you have to pick your battles, and you have to be realistic. You know, sometimes you have to do you know, 2 trips back to the car to get everything out. We should humble ourselves sometimes, right? Yes, so, but I mean, you see how, like, that experience is very illustrative of this. Like, it's not linear. I did a lot of productive things that I had to do. I did my groceries, I filled my car, I washed my car, I got food because I had to have dinner, I got my meds that I had to buy. So, you know, I was productive and I did a lot of things that are important that were on my list, but at the same time, there was, you know, little tragedies. So there's this Brazilian rapper, Emicida, and he has a song that is called The Little Joys of Adult Life. And whenever things like this happen, I always think like, oh, these are the little tragedies of adult life. So, you know, you have a little bit of joy, a little bit of tragedy, but, you know, your life is still moving forward, things are happening. So some days you're going to be a potato, but you still are going... Yesterday I was very much on potato mode, but I posted a video on Instagram, I paid all my bills, and I did my financial spreadsheet. I hadn't really done it since the beginning of June, so I updated the whole like spreadsheet. So, you know, I did something productive, I did something good. So going back to the beginning of the video, our brain is automatically going to make a list of all the bad things that happened and the bad things that you did at the end of the day, but then we should make an active effort to create our list of good things that we did on the day. Because, you know, we're not... No day is going to be 100% negative. There's always going to be something good. You're going to have done a little bit for your career, for your house. You talk to your friends, you know. My like WhatsApp conversation with my friends, I mean WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, it's something that always brings me joy during the day. So, you know, there's always something positive. If nothing positive happened, I received some fun meme or reel or TikTok from my friends and I laughed a little, so there's that. And that is what means that, you know, progress is not linear, because we are just moving forward on the pace that is possible every day. I saw a video this week where he said something that was really important to me. He said something that is very common but in a different way, that he changed some things in his life when he realized that his daily habits were not aligned with his goals. And I thought that was so interesting. That is a very like coachy thing to say, but that makes a lot of sense actually. And so I am kind of allowing myself to be toxic with myself, that every time I get my phone and I realize I'm being on it for more than like 5 minutes, I'm like, is this bringing me forward in life? What is this doing for me? You know, is this aligned with the goals that I have? So yesterday, I usually, when I finish working, I lie down on the couch and I just, you know, space out. And I usually am on my phone, doing scrolling or playing a game. But now I don't have games that I can play lying down anymore, so there's that. So I got my Kindle and I read for like 45 minutes, I think. I read a lot. I'm rereading Pride and Prejudice. I didn't put books on my list. So I'm going to do the books now. So this past week I watched Pride and Prejudice. Oh, it is on the list. Okay, but I'm going to talk about it now. So I watched Pride and Prejudice, the movie, and I love I missed Mr. Darcy so much, you know, and why did I go like for 2 years without watching it? And it was so good, and I finally got to this. I reached this, you know, level of maturity that I'm not anymore comparing the movie, the 2005 movie, Mr. Darcy, to the 1995 TV show, Mr. Darcy. So the story is my favorite movie, that is You Got Mail with Meg Ryan. I think I'll need a little light. I think it's looking kind of weird. Is it better? I guess. I don't know. Let's see. I hate the reflex on the glasses, but it is what it is. So in this movie, the protagonist, like, I watched this movie when I was like 13, 14 years old, I guess. And you know, one of those things that kind of start defining you. I want to be like that, so you will start like doing all the things that that protagonist does. Luckily for me, it was a very like healthy protagonist. So Kathleen Kelly, the protagonist of You Got Mail, she owns a little bookshop that sells children's books, and her favorite book is Pride and Prejudice. And the plot of the film is that they exchange mails anonymously, but in real life they hate each other. They are enemies because she's the owner of the little bookshop, and he's the owner of a large chain bookstore that, you know, destroys small businesses. And they don't know that they are, you know, friends and possibly falling in love through email. And it's a 1998 movie, I mean. And then she tells him how she loves Pride and Prejudice, is her favorite book, and how she's always like, she doesn't know if Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth are going to get together by the end of the movie. She's always like agonizing over it, and he decides to read the book because she talked about it, and he wanted to know, to learn about the book because he liked her. So one of the things that I think this movie was definitely like a movie where I looked at the protagonist and I was like, I want to be like that. Like, and that was good. I think we all have this moment in life. And to this day, I think I'm very like Kathleen Kelly. Of course, also I related to her a lot. It wasn't just like random thing, but I think I'm very Kathleen Kelly to this day. And then I went to the school library. I think I was on the first year of high school, and I got, because I read it for the first time in high school. So I went and I got the book at the library at school, and I read it, and I loved it. I had read Sense and Sensibility when I was like in elementary school. I don't remember. In my mind, I think it was in 6th grade, but I'm not sure. But I had read Sense and Sensibility, but I didn't remember much of it. And honestly, as a Jane Austen fan, I think Sense and Sensibility is possibly the most like boring book, and difficult because Marianne is insufferable, but you know, there's a lot of good stuff in that book as well. So I read Pride and Prejudice, and then I wanted to know more about this author, but it wasn't that easy to find her books. One interesting thing is when I studied you know, language arts at university, so we studied, you know, English literature, and the university library didn't have any Jane Austen book. How is that possible? How is that possible? And I know I went to like a private like cheaper university, but even so, that was astonishing. Like the more I think of, and now that I'm older and wiser, the more I think of it, the more absurd it sounds to me. Like they don't have a Jane Austen, they don't have even like the basics that is Pride and Prejudice. And when I was at university, I found this Word. It was a Microsoft Word file of the version Portuguese of Persuasion that became my favorite book by Jane Austen. And I read it, reading a Word file on the computer. I mean, that is unimaginable. And isn't it funny, like, how things got much more accessible nowadays? But back then we had to, like, look all over the internet, and I didn't even know much, like, buying books on the internet. The city where I grew up it's very hard to maintain a bookstore there. I don't know why, like, bookstores open and close. They don't really last. So, that are use the, like, thrift stores. How do you say thrift stores for books? Because in Portuguese you have a specific word for it. But I don't know if they have in English. There's like a specific word for a thrift store for books. What? No. I don't think this is it. They are translating sebo for like Siban and not for like a thrift store for books. So we're going to adopt thrift store for books. And I did go there, but I think one of the great things about growing up is that we learn how to search for things. We learn where to find things. And I'm talking about everything, like anything that you need, you know where to find it. When you are growing up, you usually have a hard time and you don't even know like how to ask where to find what you want to find, So anyways, I read Persuasion and that became my favorite book, but I really like Pride and Prejudice as well. So I am rereading it. I am on chapter 7, I think. I started it on Tuesday, right after I finished watching the book. I'm on 9% of the book. I think it's chapter 7. Chapter 8, I'm about to start chapter 8, and it's so good. It's so good. I mean, Jane Austen, her writing is something, right? She's so, like, ironic, and the descriptions that she makes about the characters are so, like, on point. How she describes them. And I was, highlighting things, and I mean, it's so good. She's so good. She's so good. Mr. Bennet was so odd, a mixture of quick parts, sarcastic humor, reserve, and caprice. And, like, the way she describes people is so great. It's so amazing. About their mother, she was a woman of mean understanding, little information, and uncertain temper. When she was discontented, she fancied herself nervous. The business of her life was to get her daughters married. Its solace was visiting and news. And, the way she describes everything. When Mr. Darcy first shows up, it's great. I'll be reading quotes. But it's so good. Mr. Bingley was good-looking and gentlemanlike. He had a pleasant countenance and easy, unaffected manners. But his friend Mr. Darcy soon drew the attention of the room by his fine, tall person, handsome features, noble mien, and the report, which was in general circulation within 5 minutes after his entrance, of his having 10,000 a year. And it's so funny. It's so funny. Like right away, she says, right after she says, like people looked at Mr. Darcy, they're like, wow, he's handsome, he's rich, he sings like, you know, and then he was looked at with great admiration for about half the evening, till his manners gave a disgust, which turned the tide of his popularity. Like he didn't lash as a like nice person for like even like half the evening, for like 1-2 hours. It's so great. I mean, she's amazing. She's wonderful. I love her. I love her. She's so great. So much fun. And as Mr. Darcy like starts falling in love with Elizabeth, I mean, she's great. I love it. And I have read Pride and Prejudice maybe like, I don't know, maybe this is the 10th time I'm reading it. I've read it many times. I read it in Portuguese, I read it in English, I read it, you know, read previously mostly like physical versions, but this is the first time I read it on Kindle. But I mean, it's such a good book. It's so much fun. Like it's so, I'm like laughing out loud reading it, and it's so good. And I mean, I love Jane Austen. I don't care if it's a cliche. Like I love her. She's wonderful. She's a great writer. She's everything. She's, you know, she's a writer for the girlies, and she speaks our language. She describes people in a way that we would describe people. It's so good. I mean, I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm reading it again, and I am so happy that I made that decision. And yes, of course, I'm reading other books, but I stopped everything to reread Pride and Prejudice, except for like reading the Bible. I'm reading The Message, like I said, the past video, and it's so good. It's different because it's more like a modern language, but it's really good. Like to follow, it's like you're reading like a novel. So it's a nice change. It's a nice change of pace for reading the Bible. Like it's been very, very good. I'm on Genesis still, and yesterday, and actually I had a really weird experience yesterday because I was reading Genesis, and maybe because I'm reading Jane Austen, and it's a more like current language. I was reading it, yeah, I'm on Genesis 22. I was reading it, and at the part where Sarah asks Abraham to send Hagar away with Ishmael, and because she's like she's feeling slighted by Hagar, and he sends her away. God finds Hagar in the desert. It's one of my favorite parts of the Bible. I love this story, like how God makes her know that she's seen, that she's loved, and that she's going to bless her child. And as I was reading it, like Sarah going to Abraham and being like, she's slighting me, you should send her away, she's slighting me because she has a son, and her son is making fun of our son. And I was reading and I was like, Sarah, that was your idea. Like, you were the one who said, Abraham, you should lie down with Hagar and have a son with her. You know, like, and now you're complaining. I mean, it was your doing. And I was like, wait, I'm not reading a novel, I'm reading the Bible. And I was like passing judgment on Sarah. That was a funny experience. I was like, as I was reading, I was asking God, like, is that okay? What is, like, you know, it was funny. Also, yesterday I also read the story about, you know, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot. I mean, I was also like very annoyed by Lot. because he's like, oh no, the men of God, they say go into the mountains so you can be safe from destruction. It's like, no, let me go to this little town close here. And they're like, okay, you can go, and they let him go there. But then he sees the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he runs to the mountains, like, and his daughters, you know, the whole having, like, we have to continue the lineage, and then we have to have our father's sons. I mean, wasn't Abraham so close? Because Abraham saw from where he was, he saw the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I was like, you know, help families, someone who could afford, like, to keep them safe, was so close. And they decided to, like, make the worst decisions possible at that moment. I have no words. And I was asking God, I was like, is this fine? Like, because I had this, like, novel feeling as I was reading it, and it was very different, but very interesting. Like, it's easy for us as well to pass the judgment on situations that we are not involved in. So there's that. But I mean, Lot, he you know, a little bit of thinking could have saved him. But I mean, he's human. He's a man. So, you know. Okay. Next part. Let me see. Okay, so here you're going to see 2 videos. One of me talking about my crafts, because I've been very crafty lately. Talking about doing crochet and showing you a little bit of the things I did. And another video about my cooking, because I made pickles, I made lemon tea, and it is it's so good. I love cutting stuff, like, you know, cutting stuff, because to do the pickles and to do the lemon tea, you have to, like, slice everything and cut everything, like, very small sticks, and, you know, halves. And it's so good, because that is one activity that empties my mind, because you have to pay attention. And I am a very clumsy person, so even though I love cutting up stuff, I also am always at risk of cutting my own finger. I was telling my friend yesterday, we were talking on the phone, and she told me, well, do you cut it, like, you know, in rounds or in halves? And I was like, I don't ever cut anything in like rounds, because I lost my fingers. I almost lost a finger twice trying to cut, like, onions, like, in rounds. And I was like, no, I can't cut, like, the whole onion. After almost losing my finger twice, I decided that I will only cut things in half. So I never ever cut things, like, you know, whole. I always cut it in half, and then I slice half, and I slice the other half. Thankfully, I still have all of my 10 fingers, and I decided that's a limit that I have. I cannot cut round things, like, you know, maybe like smaller things like bananas, carrots, you know, but things like, you got it. It's a whole, you know, you have to know yourself, you have to know your limits. Okay. Hi. I decided to do, like, this little segment for today. So I've been taking up crochet lately, and yesterday I did my first piece that I didn't want to destroy right away. It's a little bit crooked and a little bit cuppy, but I guess, yeah, this is a coaster, and I think it's pretty good. I'm using this rainbow line, so each piece is going to get, like, different colors. And I'm trying to learn to make like circles because I thought it was going to be something that is fast and easier, but it's not. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when you take up something to do and you're not like instantaneously good at it. um, so I have done crochet when I was, I guess, like 15, 16 years old, but I have never done it again. Um, yeah, yeah. So I have done it when I was a teenager. I think I stopped it because I started going to prep school for university, and I actually lost count how many times I have started uh, trying this, and I am left-handed, and I mean, there's like left-handed tutorials on the internet, but still, it's it's difficult. So, and I can't do like the straight line thing because it also looks ugly. So I guess, you know, I have to just keep trying. And I'm trying to learn how to make a magic ring. I've lost count how many times I have started and stopped it. You can see that the line is kind of warped because of how many times I have tried. So it's frustrating, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to do this. So right now I'm trying to learn how to make the magic circle and also double crochet. That is a type of crochet. 3, 4, and involves mathematics, which makes it all the more like annoying because then if you lose count, it's a whole other problem. And like I got how to make it, I know what steps I have to take, but it always ends up looking ugly, and I don't want to make ugly things. I want to make pretty things like this. That is kind of pretty, right? So it's frustrating. Okay, so I did one. I'm kind of freaking out. Okay, but I mean, it is what it is. This week I actually have done a lot of nice things, I guess. I made pickles. I made, wait, I have to count. Oh, it's so frustrating. 2, 3, 4. And now I have this like super long. Ah, I have to destroy it and start over. Okay, I'll stop here. I won't bore you. I'll do like a time lapse later of me trying to do this, but at least like everything's very pretty. Like the yarn is very pretty, and I can't wait to get like the other colors. And the hooks are pretty. I have like 3 different sizes, and each size has a different color, and they are pretty. So I guess that's nice. I'm also doing some embroidery. I'm not going to show it, but I'm doing some embroidery, so that's nice. So yeah, I'm going to show you the things that I did, the picots and stuff. Okay, so I guess it's nice to have like a change of scenery. Usually we are in my bedroom, so I made some stuff this week. So I made this, I think I talked about it the last video. It's cucumber, carrot, and red bell pepper pickles. I made a lot. It's like super full. And now I made it on Monday, so now it's good swish. I left for like 36 hours out of the fridge. You have to leave like for the first 24 hours at least out of the fridge, so it's not super hot, so I left for 36 hours, and this morning I put it in the fridge. This one is zucchini and red onion. It's also packed. So zucchini pickles are actually something that is quite different from what I usually make. It's great. And I always watched K-dramas, and I saw them making this lemon tea. So they have this like preserved lemon, but like in sugar. And they put some of it in a cup and hot water, and they make, and I found it once in a place to buy, but it was like 40-50 reais, which is like $10, like $8 to $10. It doesn't seem that expensive, but like I got the like 1 kilo of lemon. Let me find the place where I got it. Is it this? No, it's not. Anyways, 1 kilo of lemon here is like 7-8 reais, which is kind of expensive. We usually use limes here, they are cheaper, but it's not that expensive, and I can make like a shitload of this. So I made like 2 jars, and it's basically the hardest part, I think, is cleaning the lemons, because you have to like clean the peel with what's the name? I forgot the name. Bicarbonate. Anyways, soda. I forgot the word. I figured it out later. But you have to like clean with salt and baking soda, and then you have to slice it as thinly as possible. But there's always like some pieces that are not going to get that thing. And then mix with a lot of sugar. I put a sprinkle of salt just to, you know, salt is good for like preserving stuff. And you have to leave it out of the fridge also for like 24 hours. I also left it 36 hours because I did it on Monday, the same day. So now I have a lot of lemons. I already started this jar, and I had done it before, but I did like 2 lemons. It didn't use a lot of lemon tea. So now, and you can also make lemonade, you can also make cakes, and the longest it stays, the better like the lemons themselves, they get better, so you can also eat the lemon. It's delicious, and used to make like cake or, you know, any recipe that uses lemons, really. So yeah, now I have all of this stuff ready to eat, which is really nice. Yeah. Let's go back. Let's talk about things that I've watched, that I've listened to this past weeks. So I talked a lot already about Pride and Prejudice and the message that I'm reading. And I've been watching Hidden Love. I talked about it the last time. I'm on episode 20, and I kind of paused it because I don't want it to end. It's so nice. It's such like a comfortable place to be watching Hidden Love. And I went to do like a special moment, like, you know, like a Friday night with delicious food to watch the last episodes. Because I don't want it to end. It's so cute. They are so cute. They're so adorable. They are so wholesome. It's a great couple. It's a great drama. It's very like, you know, it's simple. It's you know, mellow, and there's not a lot like big stuff happening. It's so good. I'm loving it. I'm on season 6 of Psych. I'm on the middle of season 6. So I didn't advance a lot on Psych because, like I said, two weeks ago, to this day, I'm still very watching The Office a lot, and I am on season 6 of The Office already. 6? Yeah, I just watched the episodes when Pam and Jean get married. I watched it yesterday, and every time I watch it, I cry. I always cry at the wedding episode. Always. It's so beautiful. It's so nice and warm. You know, everyone on that moment, they doing like the entrance at the wedding, everybody dancing on the aisle. And I mean, it's so good. It's so good. It's such like I think this wedding episode encapsulates something that is very beautiful in The Office. That's how they show that these people, they've been working together for so many years, and they created this little community. And even though they may not like consciously notice it in their their day-to-day, they have like limits with each other. They know each other very well, very deeply. But when it comes to like taking care of each other, they build this like little beautiful community, and they are, you know, they care about each other and they are there for each other. That is so great. I didn't even put The Office on my list, but now I'm going to. I mean, I don't know how many times I have watched The Office, especially the first seasons, like until season 4. I really love the second season, the third season. It's great. But yeah, it's beautiful. So I have not advanced a lot on Psych, but season 6 brought something that I totally forgot. There was Marlo, the like Lester's girlfriend. She's as weird as him, like it suits him, but at the same time it's kind of unsettling, right? It's kind of weird that how he falls in love with her, but okay. It's Lester, you know, he's weird, so it is what it is. And then this past weeks, I have watched some videos talking about Saltburn. So I watched Saltburn when I had already started making videos, but I didn't talk about it because I hated it. And even before I watched it, I knew I would hate it. I knew that would be a movie that is like, it's not for me. I'm not the crowd that would like Saltburn, and I knew that from like, even without watching the trailer or anything, I knew that I was going to hate it. But you know, the hype, and my friends had watched it, so I was like, I want to, you know, at least I have someone to say bad things about this movie too. So I decided to watch it, and it took me like 2 or 3 days to watch it because I was like, they are insufferable. It's insufferable. The only good thing in this movie, when it comes to like characters, to me, is Rosamund Pike, because she, you know, she has the timing, she has great lines, she's very funny, and of course, like the visuals are beautiful. But even the visuals, they're beautiful, but they have, you know, if I could like attribute a smell to Saltburn, it would be like, you know, when you have like a bouquet of roses and it's been a few days and it's starting to die, and there's, you know, that smell. It's that, to me, I would attribute that smell to the movie. Like, it feels like everything is smelling like old dying roses. Maybe it's the like old money vibe, I don't know. But it's, you know, it doesn't, to me, like, it's a movie that doesn't smell good. Which is a weird way to describe, but I think it was so, like, empty. It was very, empty. It was just like beauty and, you know, it was just like, I have the money, so I'm going to make something beautiful and something scandalous, and I'm going to shock people in this beautiful scenery. And I was like, what's the point of the movie? And I found two videos that I have a playlist here on my channel that is films, that is for like movie commentary. There are, I don't think there's a video of me talking about a movie, but there's like many other commenters, and I'll put those Saltburn videos there, because I think those people, they said very eloquently the things that I didn't know how to say about how I felt about this book, but about this movie. But one thing that I want to say that really struck me, and these people confirmed what I felt about it, is that it definitely seems like the movie wants to talk about class dynamics. The movie wants to talk about, you know, criticize capitalism in a way. But it doesn't do it. It's any type of social commentary or criticism that the movie aims to make is, you know, emptied by the way she tells the story. And like Emerald Fennell, she's a very privileged person, we know, and that shows in this movie. I feel like Promising Young Woman, when she was talking about, because, you know, she's a woman, so she's talking about something that she's been through, and I feel that it works well there. But in Saltburn, like, she doesn't know what it's like to be poor, she doesn't know what it's like to be middle class. So it's, you know, maybe you should talk about what you know, right? Because I think lately we had so many very good works on, you know, class dynamics in capitalism and criticizing the capitalist system. And I can't help but, like, when I think about it, I cannot help but think of Parasite. Because Parasite it does it so well. It's so good. I mean, the social commentary and how they show the dynamics in order to make us think about how our lives are is so good. It's so good. It's so firm. It's so like rooted in reality, but at the same time it brings, you know, the fiction liberties that you can take telling a story. And then I look at Saltburn and I'm like, this is I mean, what is this movie? Like, it says nothing. Like, he wasn't even I'm going to give spoilers, but like, when Felix finds out that what's his name said about his family was a lie, he goes with him, Oliver. He goes to Oliver's parents' place, he takes him there, and Oliver's like panicking. And the parents start like destroying the whole like fan fiction that Oliver created. And then at this point you think, okay, maybe now the story is going to, you know, something's going to happen, but it doesn't. Like, it's like nothing really happens. He doesn't really suffer much consequences from what happened. After Felix dies, and, you know, Venetia dies, they send him away, and then he comes back, and that ending, what is that ending? What is that supposed to mean? What is that? And even and the worst part is that, you know, I love simple stories. I love stories that you don't have to think a lot about. I love this stories that you can just like mindlessly watching, because it doesn't have much, you know, complexity. Or, I mean, any work of art is going to have something to say about the human experience and all, but like Saltburn doesn't work in any of those levels. It doesn't work on the complex, like, Parasite level criticism, but it also doesn't work on the, oh, this is nice, this makes me feel good, and I'm watching it to have fun. It doesn't work on that level as well. I would never ever watch that movie again. And I know that the people who liked it loved it, and I think it's a love-or-hate movie. But I find these people, they talk way better than me about it, and one of them is very interesting because she compares it to to Mr. Ripley. What is the name? Because in Portuguese there's a whole, like, you know, subtitle. They always do that. Nossa. Oh my god. I totally blanked. I just saved the name of the movie. Ripley, Mr. Ripley. The Talented Mr. Ripley. There's a TV show now on Netflix based on the same book, but there's the movie from 1999, like, you know, young Matt Damon, young Jude Law, young Gwyneth Paltrow, and all. So that is a good movie, and she compares. Because the plot is kind of similar on the Talented Mr. Ripley and Saltburn in a way. Like, the premise, the starting point is similar, but the way they develop it's so different. And she makes that comparison, and I think that was a very interesting point of view. So I'm going to leave on my playlist if you want to watch it. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about music. There was a lot of exciting music lately. Okay. I'm going to start with one that, I mean, I'm going to link it here. Like, that was one of the best music videos. It's definitely one of my favorite music videos ever, and one of my favorite songs ever, and it was released like last week. That is Small Girl by Youngji. She's a Korean rapper, but the song is like, it has only one line in Korean, like it's mostly in English. So, and it's a really nice, you know, a nicey, happy song, very, you know. So I have to research more about music genres so I can describe it better. But it's a very, like, light-hearted song, very summer song, and it's a feat with Dio from EXO. I talked about him before, how I became a fan without him, without even realizing it. And he's in the video, and the music video is kind of a little, you know, K-drama, like a small love story. And I mean, besides being very cute, very adorable, it also brings a lot of things to think about, because she says that she has a small girl fantasy, but she's like, she has a big laugh, she has a big personality, and it's so interesting because Youngji she's definitely not very, like, super fitting into the very, like, strict Korean standards for beauty and for femininity either. So it was so heartfelt to see her talking about that. Like, if I was like a small girl, you know, cute and quiet, and, you know, would you love me? Like, she's asking the question, like, can I be loved the way I am? Like, do I also have the right to be loved in that way? And that's been something I've been thinking a lot about. So, wow, she really, she got me a lot to think. She got me a really cute song, and some food for thought. Like, we all deserve to be loved the way we are, and we will find someone who loves us, the way we are eventually. But it's definitely something that is always like an anxiety, that is like, can someone love me the way I am? Am I worthy of being loved that way? That, and I'm talking specifically like about romantic love. Am I worthy of it? Can someone look at me and feel those feelings? Is that possible? It's the question she asks, and it's great. And there's even a little again, I can't make a video without talking about Taylor. Because there's this part in the music video for the Small Girl where she becomes a giant, and she's walking like over like a forest, and she's like this giant, and just like in Anti-Hero, and he comes, and in the beginning of the video she has like hurt her finger, and he puts like a band-aid on her finger, and they turn it into like a cartoon, but it's a very like artsy cartoon, very pretty. And in the cartoon he's like riding his bike, and he flies, and he lands on her hand, and he puts a band-aid on her hand on her finger. And I couldn't help but think of Anti-Hero. This, there's like a common theme there, I feel like everybody's is a sexy babe, and I'm a monster on the hill, and like, it's the same idea, the same feeling that Young Ji is talking about in Small Girl. So yeah, it is great. Please watch it. It's really good. It's a great song. Definitely, like, it was wonderful. And then there's this artist that I did have some songs saved. His name is Sam Kim. He's a Korean artist. But this week on Tuesday, I was driving, doing all my errands, and this song came up called Sunny Days, Summer Nights. The instrumentals on the song is amazing. It's so beautiful. The song is beautiful, and I know, like, it's hard to maybe listen to something that you don't understand the lyrics for, but I mean, just the sound of the song is beautiful. The lyrics are beautiful too, but it's like, love song. But the instrumentals, the arrangement on the song is wonderful. And he has a song that I really like that is called Love Me Like That. It's from the soundtrack of Nevertheless. So, the thing of like bad films have good soundtracks, bad films have good soundtracks. This song is really good, and the song is very on the same theme, like, can you love me the way I am? Like, I have all of these flaws and fears. Can you love me like that? It's another, everything always connects, isn't it? Like, you can say that Mr. Darcy being, very repellent and Lizzie being very outspoken. They are, they have this fear, and that's also what stops them for realizing they love each other, they should be together. Isn't that, I love that everything was connected. So Sam Kim, I recommend Sunny Days, Summer Nights, Love Me Like That. And actually yesterday I found out that he's on the, let me remember, he's on the soundtrack for Goblin. And Goblin has a great soundtrack. Goblin is a great drama, but the soundtrack is amazing, and I found out that he is on the Goblin soundtrack, and I was so surprised because when I watched Goblin in 2021, I didn't really know much about any Korean things, so I didn't really, you know the artists. I didn't recognize any names, but now that I've watched a lot of dramas, I have, I see like the same names on different soundtracks, and I start like realizing, oh wow, this artist just is pretty good. Like this artist is great. So because all of their songs are good, and then let me look for it. Goblin soundtrack here, and he has actually I think it's 2 songs. No, it's just one. And it's one of the most like remarkable songs from the soundtrack. I mean, I wonder if the song is going to be good. Where I am, who I am. That song's so good. That song is so good, and it's by Sam King as well. I mean, that thing I said in the beginning of the video. As we get older, like as time goes by, we accumulate like some, you know, knowledge, and we start learning certain things. And I was like, wow, he is the guy from that song, and that song is really good. So I already liked the song by him like years ago. So yeah. It's a mood. Like I listened to a lot of his songs while working, and it's great. He's great. He's a great artist. And I wanted to just to finish. I wanted to do a I don't know how to say that. You know, this is good for practicing English because I feel like I'm fluent in English, but still there's, you know, there's contexts where I only know how to express myself in Portuguese, so it's nice to be, you know, I say you know a lot, right? I'm so sorry. It's nice to have this experience, this challenge. So I want to fix any information from the past video. I talked about Epic High, and I said that I mostly like their work from 2017 onwards, but I forgot about their album from 2014, Shoebox, that has a really pretty album cover, like ballerina shoes, and this album is great. And it has one of their greatest songs, that is Born Hater, that Young Ji from Small Girl covered recently, and it was great. Even Pablo, one of the members of Epic High, he shared like the video on his feed on Instagram, like very like proud of her. So that was really cool. And that song is like, if you are feeling angry, that song is great. And they have this version of Eyes, Nose, Lips. That is a very popular song by Taeyang from Big Bang. And it's like an Epic High version, so it's most like rap. And at the end, he sings the chorus of the song at the end. That is like the most popular part of the song, and in English. And it's great. And I didn't know there were 2 versions of the song, so you know. Taeyang is a member of Big Bang. He's very famous. And he's very like old school, because Big Bang is one of the like OG K-pop groups. You know, like I said, Epic High, they started in 2004, is that it? 2001. They started in 2001, and Big Bang started in 2006. So members of Big Bang, they are all like more so my age now. Like they are born like, they are like 87, 88. But I didn't really get to know a lot about the group, because it's kind of infamous in a way, because it's impossible to learn about Big Bang without learning about the member that is now, he's not part of the group anymore. He was involved in the Burning Sun scandal. There was a, you know, sex exploitation and trafficking and prostitution and pornography ring. It's a horrible, horrible story. I watched a video about it and I was sick to my stomach, and he was one of the people involved in this. So I didn't ever learn a lot about Big Bang at first because of that. I was like, okay, I don't want to know. But Taeyong, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. He's not a horrible person, as far as you know. No, he's not a horrible person. So he has the song. This I would recommend that you listen to Taeyong's version and to the Epic High version. I like both, and it's like a ballad. You know, it's one of those love songs. It's a ballad. It's painful. You know, it's the painful side of love. It's very dramatic. Celine Dion would love it. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Yeah, thank you so much if you were here to the end. If you liked something or agree with something, let me know in the comments. And yeah, see you next week.